Been a while. I kinda sound like the vampire from the underground sewers.
Is it 1358 yet?
No.
Then fuck off.
Witcher 3 is a game you all played probably many times. The game itself is really simple. You just like hit enemies with a sword until they die. However, I do find there are four like main styles and they're all kind of just unique from one another. They are fast attack, heavy attack, sign build, and the bomb build. First, let me go over the fast attack. The name itself is pretty simple. You just attack the enemy fast as you can. This is probably the build most of you started playing with. Like whenever you play the Witcher 3, you just like saw a skill tree, you didn't want to think about it too much, you just put all your points into fast attack because it's something that you already know what it is. You can also add like bleed or other like status effects to it early game. However, like at max, late game, when you have like the cat school armor and all that, like at this point you just like want to go with all just pure fast attacks because, or like why wait 30 seconds to see an enemy die but you can just do that in 10. The two main armor sets are the Wolf and the Cat School armor. The Wolf is just recommended for like a bleed build, or like if you want to do that, up to you. Again, I just personally think the Cat School will out damage the Wolf when it comes to just sheer fast attacks, which is most likely the build you will play. Cat armor is light armor, which can also give you the ability of the School of the Cat skill, which is overpowered. It increases critical damage by 100% and fast attack damage by 20%. Of course, you could also go to the Greedy Merchant and get your Wolf armor to become a light set, which sure, why not? So bleed and fast attack. Additional bonus for the armor set of the cat will not be applied, which are pretty broken, at least the first one is. In my opinion, I would just get the cat school armor because they're just overall better than them. However, every time I do play it, I eventually just get the bear armor and I go to the Greedy Merchant and make that light build because the defenses for that armor are actually insane. And you might think this is cheating, but I'm just thinking ahead, you know, I'm just thinking about the bigger picture. And let's be honest, you probably do the exact same thing. The heavy attack build, in my opinion, is somewhat more satisfying than the fast attack. But the problem is that with most enemies, they just dodge your attacks, or with human enemies, they can even block them, which I don't know how that is. Like, yeah, good luck trying to block from a Witcher's steel sword while using all of his strength to cut you in half, which eventually does make people want to play the fast attacks, which I have caught myself doing many times. But I decided to go through a heavy build and I just changed to a fast attack because a lot of enemies are just blocking it or just straight up dodging it. Like when you get rend, like that's such a broken ability, but then you get people just like yoink, you know, they just like get out the way. They're like, oh, move, hold on, he's attacking us. Cause let me just move, you know, which does force you to use Axii on them first, which causing you to do so depletes your stamina, so you can't even use rend. It does get annoying at times, but at the same time, every time you do hit it, like it is so satisfying. And yeah, you will hit them quite a few times. I'm kind of making it sound more complicated than it actually is. You will hit them, and every time you do hit them, you'll probably 3-shot them, probably even 1-shot them with fully rend. One thing about the heavy attack build is the armor, which of course is the one and only bear armor, the best armor in the game, and the coolest looking. It also increases your Quen abilities by 200%. Which I do kind of get sometimes because it's always satisfying to see the enemy attack you and then just like the Quen blow up and then just pushes them back and dealing a little bit of damage. It's always nice and satisfying to see that. The one thing I would get is the skill Deadly Precision. I got it the first time playing The Witcher, but I kind of just forgot about it, but it is really broken. You just like randomly start killing enemies left and right, like out of nowhere. This is good for both fast attacks and heavy attacks, and another thing to consider is between heavy and fast attacks, in my opinion, fast attack does more quantity damage while heavy attack does more quality damage. Just go with whichever you prefer. Let's be honest, we all going with the fast attack with the bear armor. Sign build comes in next. Sign builds is interesting because originally the signs were just like little magic tricks the Witchers could use, you know, because apparently the Witchers were just supposed to be like magical users, but they only ended up with a little bit of magic signs. And here we are abusing the continent with them. When you originally start out, it can be a bit difficult when you barely notice anything change, but eventually the more skills you do get, your stamina recovers a bit faster and faster, and eventually your sign starts doing more damage too, with Igni almost every time burning your opponents. And especially when you get the Yarden and Art that can like either shock the enemies or just like or deal damage to them over time while they're in Yarden. which is probably the biggest thing about the sign build. Like, you'll probably do most of your damage by Yarden or Ard. With the Griffin armor, these skills just become incredibly broken, especially Yarden, which increases its range and gives you damage reduction while you're in the field of Yarden. And with the extra mutations, you can either go with the Sign Crit, which is with the magical sensibilities, or Piercing Cold, which in my opinion is a more satisfying attack in the entire game.
The Griffin armor set, in my opinion, does not look that good. The Tucson version look a little bit better, but I'm just not a fan of it. It does make Gero like a knight, which if you know anything about the school of the Griffin, that's their whole shtick.
So the fourth and last playstyle I have is the bomb build, which is the most fun and the most annoying build at the same time. Because for the longest time, you will not be doing any damage to your opponents, and out of nowhere, you might be just like straight up one-shotting them. Now the skills for this one are in the alchemy class. You will eventually need to get the pyrotechnic skills, excuse me, English is not my first language, which fully upgraded adds a 150 damage to wall bombs, including their original damage. And when you get the heavy artillery and the cluster bomb, which can split the bombs into 4, it just becomes broken. Especially when you're doing the bomb build, you will most likely have most of your skills in the alchemy class, which each skill fully maxed adds additional 15% damage to wall bombs. Trust me, just play it and you will just see enemies drop left and right. The most satisfying bombs are definitely the Grape Shot and the Northern Wind, which is always satisfying to see this enemy just freeze up and crack and die.
One thing to do consider is that you're gonna have to meditate every few fights, which does get annoying. A lot of times I kind of just forget I am out of bombs and I forgot to meditate, and I just go into a fight, I'm like, where are my bombs? And then I just have to use a sword, which I guess in this case you could probably apply like bleed or poison. Probably bleed is better. Two swords, so it kind of like fits the whole, like, you know, alchemy, you're fighting an alchemist. But yeah, if you can like look past having to meditate, like this is pretty fun. Now this skill, like as strong as it is, becomes incredibly broken in Tucson once you get the Manticore armor. It instantly allows you to throw bombs at people, and it also do crit damage on top of that, which, like, at this point Geralt is no longer a Witcher, he's just straight up a terrorist, probably from my home country. Either way, thanks for watching. These are just like the 4 different playstyles. Of course you can mix and match them, like have fast and heavy attacks. I sometimes match the fast attack with a bomb build. I don't know, I'm just addicted to the bomb build. Of course, you don't even have to play these, you can literally just get like whatever armor and weapon you want. On my first playthrough with The Witcher, I did not even know about the Witcher armors. Like, I know I did because like you would have like quests to get them, but then like I would just like oh, you know, they're just cool looking armors and that's it. And I would just like stick to like whatever like armors they are, and I didn't even know they had like special effects to them, like the damage reduction or like the adrenaline or like a sign damage. I did not know, I was not aware of those things when first playing. What you can also do is just get the mod of all skills active, which you can go to each class, have like 1 skill active, like get 1 skill as you level up, and that just makes you overpowered, like some sort of isekai character. Well, that's it for now. This is meant to be an educational video, and I hope you got educated about your Witcher school and different builds. I think most people probably gonna be replaying the game with the Songs of the Past coming DLC, so have fun what you learned in this little manual, you know, maybe apply to your own game. Have fun. Goodbye. Wait, why does this outro seem familiar?